Homes for Heroes real estate and mortgage specialists are one of the most important parts of the Homes for Heroes circle of giving. Our affiliates are the reason why we have been able to reach so many heroes and save them money on a home. But it's also through our affiliates that the Homes for Heroes Foundation is able to make the biggest impact in local communities through its grants. Homes for Heroes real estate and mortgage specialists across the country nominate nonprofits that are committed to helping heroes in dire need. For these specialists, the Homes for Heroes grants are another meaningful way to give back and support heroes in their local communities. And for some, presenting these grants can have a significant impact on them personally and professionally. On today's episode, we remember the life of one of Nashville's bravest heroes and how a foundation grant presented to his family made a lifelong impact on one Homes for Heroes real estate specialist. On May 30th, 2018, the Nashville community lost a true hero when Sergeant Daniel Baker of the Dickson County Sheriff's Office was killed in the line of duty. He was responding to a call of a suspicious vehicle. It was a senseless act of evil against a man that dedicated his life to serving his country and helping his community. Daniel Baker was a police officer, Marine, friend, husband, and father. His service started in 2004 when he joined the Marine Corps and defended his country in Iraq. Upon returning from the Marine Corps, he followed in his father's footsteps in law enforcement as an officer with the Dickson County Sheriff's Office. He joined the force in 2008 as a patrol officer and moved up the ranks through the agency's special response team in 2013 before becoming a sergeant. Those that worked alongside Sergeant Baker recall his unique personality and the genuine care he had for those in his community. In 2013, he saved a woman whose car had plunged into water. And in 2018, he single-handedly detained a gunman at Freed-Hartman University in Western Tennessee. Sergeant Baker was a true servant to our country and the Nashville community. The death of Daniel Baker was felt most at home with his wife Lisa and daughter Meredith. Lisa faced the challenges of losing her best friend, raising their daughter on her own, and making sure Meredith knows the hero that is her father. In his wife Lisa's words, as read by Sheriff Jeff Bledsoe, "His service and dedication to his country and community will always be remembered. The family and I would like to thank our amazing local community for the outpouring of love and support being shown during the most difficult and trying time. Lastly, I would like to ask our family, friends, and community to help our daughter Meredith to always know how wonderful and amazing her father is." Despite the occupational risks, law enforcement go to work every day because their calling to serve our country and community supersedes everything else. Their families are well aware of this, which is why they support them despite the fears they feel every time they leave for their shift. And when those fears become a reality for the family of a fallen police officer, they are felt throughout the entire law enforcement community, which is why the devastation behind Sergeant Baker's death hit especially close to home for Homes for Heroes real estate specialist Barbara Bell. Barbara is a Homes for Heroes specialist serving heroes in the Nashville area and is also the wife of a Nashville Metro Police Officer. As a member of the Nashville law enforcement community inner circle, Barbara took it upon herself to leverage this network and create a bridge between the Homes for Heroes Foundation and Sergeant Baker's family to provide them the support they need through this challenging time. I had the opportunity to speak with Barbara as she reflected on the impact that providing assistance to Sergeant Baker's family had on her personally and on her career. Thank you for taking time to speak with me today, Barbara. First of all, can you just tell me what compelled you to take the initiative in finding support for Sergeant Baker's wife and his daughter?
So I am a wife of a Metro, now retired police officer. He served for 22 years in Nashville, and I actually have two nephews serving in the Lexington PD. So my blood runs blue.
And as the wife of a police officer, how did this experience impact you personally?
Yeah, I think when you're the wife of a police officer and you watch them go out that door for every shift, for them to, you always hope they're going to walk back in the door. And so it was a gut punch of reality to sit across from the table from a wife whose husband didn't walk back in the door. And so I could identify as a police wife with her and just our worst fear. And it came true for her. And so it was definitely made me hug and hold my husband a little harder, to to sit across the table and see what a emptiness that she had, and then to have such a small child that wasn't ever going to know or remember her father was just it was a lot to sit. It's one thing to see them on the TV and to cry with them and stuff, but it's another to sit across the table from them.
So this obviously hit really close to home for you. How are you moved to help Sergeant Baker's family and get the wheels moving for finding them assistance?
So here in Nashville, we have a pretty tight wives group. And so whenever anything happens inside or outside of the surrounding areas, we're always trying to pull together and make meals, and who's going to, run transport meals, or do something like the bear that's made out of the officer's uniform and give it to the child. So the wives group is always trying to do something to help whenever there's any kind of incident inside or outside of Nashville. And so when that happened, I just happened to think about our foundation and submitted the application to see if I could get that grant for his wife. And their daughter was just shy of 2 years old at the time it happened.
And now, when you refer to the application to the foundation, you're referring to the grant application for a nonprofit from the Homes for Heroes Foundation. So how did you choose the nonprofit that would receive the grant from the Homes for Heroes Foundation with the knowledge that it would go to support Sergeant Baker's family?
Yes, so we are members of the 100 Club of Nashville. That's a very well-known Nashville group or nonprofit group that supports police, fire, and EMTs. And they typically, you don't hear a lot about them until there's some type of tragedy where they kind of surface, and they offer financial relief to the families of the fallen heroes, or to the hero if they've been hurt. So I was familiar with the 100 Club. When I found out that I needed to go through a nonprofit, I immediately knew I could reach out to Reed Trickett, who's the president of the 100 Club of Nashville. And so I reached out to him. Obviously, again, this was just the talk of Nashville at the time. And so he jumped right in and was happy to help me and partner up with me to submit that application to Homes for Heroes.
Can you share what it was like for you to be able to present that grant to Sergeant Baker's wife?
Yeah, that is, I will never, ever, that's ingrained in my mind and forever for the rest of my life, that we, Reed and I rode together to Dixon. We had set it up where we met at the sheriff's department with the sheriff that was at that time. And so it was the sheriff and Reed, and there was a few other people along with Lisa Baker, who was Sergeant Baker's wife. And they just had us all meet in the conference room for Reed and I to present that check to her. And just having never met her before, it was to sit across the table from someone who had been all over the news and who had, she just hasn't had peace at that point for months. And she was almost just stoic. You could tell that she was just kind of moving on her days like a zombie. The only way I could describe it, she just was in motion, automatic motion, I guess. And so it was just, she was so grateful for our grant that we were able to give her. But she had definitely been through so much, and it just was really probably the highlight of anything I've ever done, especially in this career, to be able to give back like that and have that opportunity to give back.
Sergeant Baker's legacy continues to live on through memories and tributes in the Nashville community. Sharing his story is our way to make sure we never forget the meaning and impact Sergeant Baker's service and sacrifice left on us here at Homes for Heroes. The grant presentation to the Nashville 100 Club has been a catalyst for the Homes for Heroes Foundation expanding its footprint within the law enforcement community. By partnering with the Fraternal Order of Police and providing grants to the Fraternal Order of Police Foundation, the Homes for Heroes Foundation is able to help more members of the law enforcement community during their time of need. To learn more about the Homes for Heroes Foundation and how it is helping law enforcement and other heroes in dire need, visit homesforheroes.com/foundation.